Hello, this is Greg Gallus from Green Griggs coming to you on the morning of 16 January 2021 with breaking news. Time on deck is 02:47 hours. The news is this: Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, is under electronic warfare attack right now. Electronic warfare is being conducted upon our nation's capital at this moment. And it started on the 15th. And what's been happening is as follows. All the frequencies of fire, police, and federal radios are being jammed. This is a very sophisticated intelligence jamming system, and it seems to be pervasive throughout the capital region in DC. What's happening is this: when an operator keys his microphone, his radio immediately gets jammed then. And whatever the jamming frequency is turns on, and then when he gets done, it turns off. This system is monitoring radios and the frequencies of the federal frequencies, of the frequencies of the police and the fire, but it's not bothering aviation. It's not bothering maritime. The boats on the river, the Potomac River, out at sea, they're fine. Aircraft flying over, they're fine. And so they've been out there trying to DF this. You can use directional antennas to DF these sources. It's coming from everywhere. They can't DF it. They can't find it. Apparently, these transmitters are all over town. This is a very sophisticated network that somebody has installed, or somebody's, that is actively jamming systems in Washington, D.C. Emergency response, like I said, police, fire, the federal frequencies, they're being jammed. And it only jams the voice, apparently not the data. So when they key their mics, jam. It picks up, it detects them, and starts jamming them. When they unkey, apparently it unjams. How this happens, how it's working, is an interesting proposition. This is a very sophisticated system. It could be that some very smart individuals could have pulled this off. It's not outside the purview of some really intelligent individuals to do something like this. But you got to wonder who it is, what it is, and why. It could be a group. It could be a group that's doing this in a very sophisticated fashion. Like, I actually led a group that figured out how to defeat the COCOM limits of GPS so I could use it for missile tracking when I was launching my altitude research corporation Cat's Prize rocket back in the year 2000. My group did that. And we did that on a shoestring budget out of a garage with a few really smart guys. So these are things that groups can do things like this. But I would say it's more probable that this is an inside job from some federal agency, or maybe a foreign power, because of the pervasiveness of it being everywhere, the sophistication of it. This is a very sophisticated system. We're going to talk about what you need to do too. So just hang on now. We're going to get through this in a little bit. This ain't going to take long to lay out too. This is breaking news. I got this intel from a friend of mine who's been working in DC area for decades, and they've been calling him trying to get him to come back to help fix this. So here's what's happening. Let's kind of analyze this a minute first. Let's just go back. If this is intel, if this is some inside job from a federal agency, you can conclude one or two things. Either they screwed up by letting this thing initiate early, which played their hand, played their cards, because you would think if somebody's wanting to do an op on the election, they would hold it. They wouldn't let anybody know it was there, and then they would just start it all at once. The fact that it started now means one or two things. Either they screwed up royally, or they have other intentions. Now, considering the sophistication of the system, the idea that they screwed up royally seems a little shaky to me, just a little shaky. I think it may be more probable that they're trying to flesh things out. Either that they want to cause the ceremony to move out of the secure zone, out of the security zone, or maybe be delayed. And if it is delayed to some later time, mind you, the Constitution says the 20th, but there has been one of these has been delayed back in, I think, the 1880s. So if it's delayed, will they be able to put together all the resources again, just like they have this time? I mean, mobilizing this much National Guard all at once is a huge endeavor. All the security they just put in place, that's a huge endeavor. To have to redo that. Now maybe they'll find these and put this to bed. But And another thing, if you were going to do an op, like if you were going to do an op in town, if somebody was going to do an op in town, and believe it, I am not condoning this. Okay, don't get me wrong here at all. And I'm putting this out for everybody. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. You need to know this. And I won't go into this, but if somebody was planning to do an op, the last thing I'm going to do is make everybody antsy. And this is going to make everybody antsy. So, you want people to relax as much as possible. Everything's nice and just relax. So this is not what you would expect for an op, from the fact that seemingly inadvertently played their hand early, which is a little hard to believe, and it makes people antsy. So I think maybe more likely the reason try to force a delay on this or flush it out of town to another location, less secure. Because I just spent all this time and money setting up all these fences and everything. I don't know. There's more that we don't know than what we do know. The simple facts, what we do know is jamming is taking place. And it just seems highly uncanny that it's taken place and started the Friday before the event. I mean, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then you got Tuesday and the event being Wednesday, 6 days of yeah, that's, really 5 days prior. That's kind of unusual. Doesn't fit Sun Tzu philosophy at all. So what is really happening here? Why now? There is the foreign player aspect of it. It's a foreign player. They don't care one way or another. They're just trying to cause disruption, maybe distraction, which is very concerning. This is why I think you need to pay attention. If it is a foreign player, they may be planning something else, something bigger. And with this distraction, it may give them a little cover. It may be something like an EMP attack upon this whole country coming. I don't know. I hope not. I severely hope not. But I talked about this in some previous videos just recently. And I was talking about all this tension we got going up with Iran right now, and how that could come up to an EMP attack. But other players might take advantage of that particular tension, since we've got that tension built up now on North Korea or a Russia or China. Maybe China. I would most suspect China, actually. All the tensions we're having. It might be a good way to take us out while we're in this transition phase between presidents. Maybe things just aren't quite spot on. Bear in mind, though, we've got forces arrayed right now. We've got an aircraft carrier, the Nimitz, off the coast, just below the Persian Gulf. I've heard rumors that we've got B-52s on the way toward Iran. Right now, I don't know if that's true or not, but we sure have been sending a lot of them over that way of late. We've got aircraft carriers close to the South China Sea operating area. We've got them stationed off our east and west coast right now. We are in a defensive position right now in case anybody wants to try any funny business on us. But an EMP attack, especially coming out like off the shore of Venezuela, like I've mentioned earlier in previous videos, no, we're not set up for that. We're not set up for that. Everybody knows it. And we wouldn't know who to blame. I've been telling you guys we got to get a grid hardened. I have been doing this for years now. I've held 2 power grid defense conferences starting in 2014. And the powers that be wouldn't listen. Well, it's on their hands if it happens. It's on your hands. You powers that be, you people that in the regulatory agencies trying to tell everybody, oh, don't worry, everything's fine. No, it's not. We got to get this grid hardened. If we get through this, you better get about the business of getting this grid hardened. I'm serious. We got to get it hardened and keep our nation safe. So this message is to those that can harden the grid. And I will be following up on that. And I'll ask some of you to join with me in the future to push this further. Okay. That said, personally, what do you need to do right now? Stay out of all the capital cities from this point right now. Don't go into any of them. From now until after the inauguration, till the dust settles down. Stay out of state and federal capitals. Stay out. Some of you have to be there. You work there. And I mentioned in the previous video, if you work there, you have to be there. Then, well, what I did tell you, I tell you to be in communication with your family, your friends, let people know where you're going and when you're going to be there. It may be hard to do with jamming. Maybe they're not jamming cell phones, personal cell phones. I don't know. Doesn't mean they won't do that down the road. Maybe they're not right now, but they might. There could be other dimensions that's come. We've seen a shoe drop. Will other shoes drop? Other shoes drop. What comes next? I don't know. I don't know. What I do know is this: you need to stay out of those places. Everybody does. I don't care if you're left, right, purple, green, or what. This is not a place you need to be unless you absolutely have to be there. Because we're in a time of peril, a great time of peril right now. There's a lot of stress in this country. The tensions are off the charts. We have never had an electronic warfare attack upon our nation to this degree in our history. Now, nobody's been hurt by it. It jams devices. Nobody's been hurt yet. It could lead to mayhem. And that's why I'm warning you. That's why you need to know. This could be something that could be a problem. I mean, just the whole idea that policemen and firefighters can't respond adequately, their communications are hampered, might, in an emergency situation, mean that somebody doesn't get the care they need when they need it, or can't get back where they need to get when they need to get there. That could cost lives. It could. It could. Maybe singularly, maybe massively. I do not know. Depends on what goes down, what kind of op happens, how big. Let's hope none of this stuff happens. I mean, my gosh, we got, I think I'm here now up to 30,000 National Guard members deployed in our nation's capital. I hear some state capitals have heightened security too. Don't go. Stay out. I wouldn't even drive through the cities on the interstate. Take the loop, go around. Stay as far away as you can. If you got to be there, try to find a way to communicate, or at least let people know that you'll get to a landline and call them, and hopefully the landlines won't get taken out. Or at least, if nothing else, when you got to get in, get out. Let your family know when you expect to get out. Yeah, don't be there if you can help it. Some of you guys live there. Some of you people live inside these communities. I wish you the best. I wish all of you the best. And I hope everyone prays for the safety of the people that's living in, operating in, and working in these areas. But my friends, we are in perilous times. We are in very perilous times. So I hope we can get through this, and the dust will settle, and in the end, we'll have peace and freedom. That's what my hope is. I hope I'm not asking for too much, but I'm just putting it out there. This is breaking news. You've heard this from me. I'm probably the first person on YouTube with a channel over 20,000 talking it. One other person who has mentioned this is my friend, Lee Wilbarger. He has worked for decades in these agencies in Washington, D.C., has extensive contacts on them. He's the guy they're calling because he is an RF man, an inventor, and they know him. And they're trying to get somebody, they're desperately trying to get these situations solved right now. This sounds like an extensive network. They probably have nodes and antennas and transmitters everywhere to pull this off, to make it seem like it's omnidirectional. So I'm not confident they're going to be able to find this stuff within short order of time. They might. Or maybe they'll run out of battery power, because maybe somehow this thing initiated too soon. I don't know. I assume it's probably plugged in with massive battery backups, because they mentioned to Lee the idea of having rolling blackouts to try to knock it out of power. And he said, it ain't gonna help. I got batteries, probably off laptops and other with backup batteries on that, and other sources. So, and they're all probably plugged in somehow, somewhere. I don't know, guys, ladies and gentlemen. I do know this. It's getting really interesting, really fast. A little too interesting. Stay away. Just stay away. Everybody, stay out of these places. It's not worth it. Stay out of these places. It's trouble. It's just trouble. Your family needs you. Your friends need you. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Okay? Now, given all this uncertainty, the tensions being as high as they are, the other thing, if you're not a prepper, you need to become one really fast. I got a lot of videos about it, but also got videos about, eating the weeds in the trees and growing your own stuff. You need to pay attention to those. You need to be growing your own food. You really need a garden. It's good for you in many ways. It's healthy food. It gives you some independence and a little sunshine and fresh air, and it's good for you. Just get your mind off things, and it's psychologically productive to watch things grow and make things grow. If you can do that, do that. I got links below to True Leaf Market. Check them out. You can get seeds, heirloom seeds. Help my channel, help you too. But you need to prepare, store things up. Go to the big box stores if you can to buy beans and rice. Support your local artisans and stores and shops as much as you can, because they're all suffering right now mightily. Help them out because of what's been going around. The small guys are really hurting. And one final thing, yeah, if luck holds out and the internet stays up, I do have an offer, about 20% off. You can get long-term food storage. This stuff lasts 25 years. And you can get $20 off. You can get a special deal, 2 of these or 1 of these. And either way, it's about 20 bucks off. What you're talking about is breakfast, lunch, and dinner. One of them is a full month supply for an individual. The other's 2 weeks. And what you get is 2,000 calories a day. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner make you a winner. And you get all kind of other prepping supplies. Go to prepwithgreg.com for this deal. Prepwithgreg.com. And when you get there, it's I got this up through my Patriot Supply. You don't find that, save it directly on their website. You can get that through me, and you can also go up and click on the logo, and it takes you into all of the kind of prepping supplies. Check them out. You need to be prepping. And if you are prepping, shore your preps up. The cool thing about this stuff is it's lightweight. It's freeze-dried. It's real food. It's not MREs. The cool thing is you can take these pouches out and put them in your backpack and bug out if you need to. These are easy to carry. They're lightweight. Unlike some of the other competitors, and you can see their commercials are pushing the 1 month supply across the threshold. This is easy to handle. All right, my friends, just something you'll need, something you need to think about. But mostly, get ready. Be careful this week. Be real careful. I tell my people, the proposition of my channel is to help you survive, thrive, and stay out of the hive. And I also warn you to keep your eyes wide open and head on the swivel. And this is eyes wide open, head on the swivel news. So I do a lot of videos on these kind of topics. So you can subscribe to my channel to get updates. Bang the update notification bell and click all. Then you'll get notifications for the things I've got coming up, because I'm always telling people things they need to be aware of. I've talked about power grid defense. I've talked about international threats, threats of war, externally and internally. I've talked about how to take care of yourself to grow your own food. I've talked about it as economic resource. I've talked about growing microgreens. I've talked about raising worms. I have a worm farm. I do have a commercial worm farm. All right, my friends. I hope everyone gets through this. Pray for our nation, our people. Pray for peace, prosperity, and the continuation of our freedoms. That said, everyone, hope you have a good weekend. Stay safe, and may we get through this week unscathed. Oh, yeah. If we get the power out, it's gonna be bad news. Bad news. You better talk to your family. Well, finally, talk to your family. Have a plan for where to meet. Have a meetup plan, okay? And maybe plan to bug out if you have to. Do that. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching.